Good morning, guys. I pulled an all-nighter. Well, I started out by hanging out in voice chat in the evening with Stony, and then later on, at around midnight, Leah joined. Well, probably around 10 p.m. And then we ended up watching Dispatches from Elsewhere. We finished that series. Gotta admit, first 4 episodes, magical. The next 4 episodes, uh, above average. Final 2 episodes, especially the last one, forget about it. Absolute bullshit. But yeah, Leah went to bed after we watched that. Well, we talked for a little bit, and then she went to bed. Me and Stoney stayed up. He finally fell asleep, and I pulled an all-nighter. Not that I have to do anything, I just didn't feel tired. And yeah, I gotta go to well, I don't have to do shit, but I'm gonna attempt to try and see if I can get another payment of welfare. See if I can't scam the government some more without really doing shit or going anywhere. I've been doing this in the past in my early 20s. I was on welfare for like 3.5 years in a row, so I know the system. Of course, stuff has slightly changed and become worse, but I still have a pretty good idea about how to get around this shit. Like so far, I've received welfare once, study money once, and I've only had to attend, what is that, like 2 or 3 times to the government office, and like 2 or 3 days of attending the online studying sessions. So that's like, what is that, like $2,000 total. That's pretty fucking good, man. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't get another. It's not a lot of money, but like another $600-700 or so. Like 4,600 Danish would be very nice. Would be very nice indeed. I talked to Dion as well. He hopped in briefly, and he's severely considering coming to back to Denmark soon. Like he was talking, like the earliest he could arrive here would be February 19th. He talked about coming here around March or maybe April or something like that because he thought he had to wait for longer, but he doesn't. So he's considering getting here soon. And he doesn't mind traveling around in Denmark for a while, which I'm kind of forced to because I'm just not gonna go to a foreign country without having any money of my own. That's just out of the question. And I got a few things I would like to acquire for my setup. And hopefully, I get a decent amount of money. If I'm lucky, fingers crossed, knock on wood. Is that even wood? Ah, fuck. Let me find some wood to knock on. What is this? There we go. Knock on wood. I get some. I applied for something called study money loan, and that's basically another 1,200. But I don't know if I'm already kicked out if I don't qualify. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get that money. Let's see. I don't anticipate it. I don't think it's gonna happen. That would be too lucky. But hey, I'm still hoping. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna tough it out in March. I think I'm gonna tell my friend who lets me stay here that I've already paid the final rent. Like I'm gonna stay through February and then March I'm just gonna get out of here because I'm losing my goddamn mind from being inside of an apartment all the time. I know there's not much reason to go outside. It's too cold to stay outside for long. I don't have winter underwear. I don't have very warm clothes. And I gotta admit, it feels a lot better sitting around chilling in an apartment in this cold when I have nothing to really do, no way to really make any money. So instead of freezing my ass off in a tent, and having to worry about showering and getting water and stuff. I think this is preferable, at least for now. But right now, what I'm thinking is best case scenario, I leave this apartment by March 1st. Dion arrives roughly around the same time, and we start traveling around Denmark. And hopefully, I'll be able to make decent money. I'm thinking it would probably be pertinent for me to head towards bigger cities like either Copenhagen, Odense, or Aarhus, or over in Jutland. Um, those are the three biggest cities in Denmark, the respective capitals of each island. Um, and if you wanna pick up bottles and be able to make more than 100 krona every day, like 13 bucks or so, you would need to be in or around some of these bigger cities because, even if it's still a bit cold in March, April, people are still, there's so many people in these bigger cities that they're gonna be dropping bottles and cans and stuff. Um, I don't really want to go for Copenhagen, honestly. Not yet. In the summer, it would be a great place both for bottle collection and also just there's some nice spots in nature. Well, most people don't really know about them, but there's some decent spots you can camp in Copenhagen. And specifically, I'm thinking of one place where I used to live with my ex. I think that would be a very good place for me and Dion to go, check out some few, not just set up in the same spot every day, but like probably check out that area, that region, and set up tents in different places. And it would allow me to head off on the wheel to go into the city and pick up cans. And yeah, I'd be able to grind. I could probably make like at least 200 krona every day. Uh, but yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, honestly, guys. I don't really know. My biggest issue is once I'm out of this apartment, I lose my address and everything becomes a fucking hassle again. It becomes such a bother going to the doctor, welfare, all that shit. It's just a goddamn hassle. But yeah, I mean, I hope Dion shows up, even if I'm not fully ready to leave Denmark, which was our original plan. It would still be nice to not be alone all the time. It's nice to have someone to travel with and hang out with. But yeah, I think staying in and around Copenhagen for, I don't know, 3 months or so, that should probably be enough for me to buy the final few pieces of kit that I need. Mostly it's spiked pedals and power pads for the electric unicycle, as well as a new trolley handle. The one I have is kind of busted. And then a light for the back of the helmet, those brake-free lights that have an accelerometer and will flash whenever you're braking. You don't need to like click a button or activate it or anything. It just responds to braking. Um, but yeah, I've realized now that I'm gonna get that dry pack, or dry bag for doing laundry inside of. I realized that I could also double that bag as a 20-liter reservoir for. I'm gonna put it up on screen. This pump from Flextail as well, the company I got the light slash pump combo from. They made this thing that is a portable shower. It only weighs 600 grams in total, and it has a decent flow and a little built-in filter for sediment. Of course, it's not gonna like remove bacteria and viruses and stuff, but Danish water is pretty clean for the most part. And I mean, if I end up living in Copenhagen, I would probably end up using salt water for showering. Um, but yeah, once I have that, it just dawned on me that basically all the concerns of modern life will be taken care of. I'll have cold water, hot water, the ability to cook and clean my like do dishes. I will have the ability to light fires and saw logs and branches with my nifty little saw. I'll be able to do laundry. I can just get a clothes string and hang it up to dry after wringing it. And then finally, with a portable shower, I will also be able to shower. No need for gym memberships or anything like that. I already have little portable shampoo and conditioner bottles. And I mean, guys, listen, if I buy a normal size shampoo and conditioner, those last me for like a year. I don't use very much product. I like to try and not be wasteful. I like to try and make things last because I recognize the environmental impact that consumption has. I know I'm just an individual. These corporations and factories are the real problem, but I'm not trying to save the world. I just feel bad about unnecessary pollution or using resources in an irresponsible manner. Like, I feel responsible. I know others don't, and I know in the grand scheme of things, it's not even a drop in the bucket what I'm doing. But hey, it's not nothing, right? And it makes me feel good to not fuck up the planet more than I have to. But yeah, all of my all of my daily and medium term needs will be taken care of. Obviously, Solarpunk 1, I still have to acquire the fucking solar panels, but I have everything else. Soldering iron for fixing the electrical setup on the go, and some different tools for fixing different things, and all kinds of smart little bits and bobs. I got multiple videos on the channel. When you go back to when I was actually living outdoors, you can see all of my gear basically. If you go all the way back, you can see how the gear evolves over time. I didn't have all this stuff when I started out, which is now half a year ago. Fuck, man, time flies. What? Scary. You know, there's one thing I've noticed here on YouTube is the real nomads, the people who really do this shit. And I know I'm kind of cheating right now, staying in an apartment. I've gone through the reasoning for why I'm here multiple times, but just to make a long story short, I'm mostly here because I didn't have a place to overwinter. It's too cold, it's too brutal outdoors, and being in an apartment would allow me to get my eyes fixed and get a bunch of different official shit with the government in order and get some welfare, help my friend pay his rent, the guy who's let me stay here, and let Dion stay here and Mike and Kiki stay here, to be able to help him out too. But yeah, I don't want to live in an apartment. I want to get out of here. I feel cooped up. I feel like I'm wasting my life, and somehow half a year of my life has been spent here in Newport now, which is fucking crazy to me. Fucking crazy. I never imagined that, but I'm happy that I'm here in the sense that I'm happy I got to spend Mike's final days with him, and I'm happy to have inspired Dion to the point of wanting to return. I feel like things are not moving exactly in the way that I want to and at the pace that I want to, but I can see progression. Um, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just did some math yesterday. $1,600 is what it would require me to get all the things I want for the electric unicycle, the light for the helmet, the portable shower thing. $1,600 is what separates me from being completely 100% solar punk. So I'm very happy about that. The electrical setup is gonna be done soon. I ordered a new one of these. This one I accidentally broke it because I was tired in the morning when I was working with electronics and I gave it too much voltage. So I ordered a new one of these. a few bits and bobs. So yeah, that thing is gonna finish up soon. Another thing I would not have been able to do if not for the apartment. So instead of framing this as some kind of a failure, let's just put this milk back in the fridge. Instead of framing this as some kind of a failure for ending up in this apartment, which I kind of think it is. I would love to have had the rich YouTuber story of being funded by your parents or some shit like that. I mean, that would have been great. I would have already had all the gear I wanted. But the issue is, I think it's actually a blessing in disguise things have how I've become postponed and all these things have come up, because ultimately what it's done is it has allowed me to build a much better setup than I had imagined before. This always happens. Like, whenever I have extra time to do the research, I just spend hours every day just researching different options, the different hydrostatic pressure and like all these different stats about different equipment. I just go so into depth and study them and compare them to other things, and I end up finding some amazing solutions. But you know what? If another thing gets in the way and I get postponed further, then what happens? And that's what happened with this electrical setup here. This thing right here, I just weighed it yesterday. This is 1.2 kilos, 1.3 kilos. Okay, my first prototype of this kind of concept was 8 kilos, and it was huge. It was fucking massive, dude. Like, it's gotta have been like this big and this big and this thick. Like, it was crazy. But I was willing to carry that in my backpack. And you know what? If I'd had the money at the time, when I had fully like finished the prototype, at least in theory, I would have built it. And I would have ended up using it. And I would have not ended up figuring out that you can do it a lot lighter, a lot smarter, with more utility and more safety features. I've learned a whole lot about electricity. Like, that thing, if I'd had the money to buy it, I would have bought it, and issues would have come up that I would have had to fix by buying other stuff, and safety features would have been foregone. And I'm just endlessly happy about how I'm able to turn lemons into lemonade, I guess. Like, whenever I get postponed, stuff just gets better in the end when I finally get there, because I don't let it defeat me. Sure, we all have bad days, right? When we let stuff get to us, but I don't let it defeat me. I just see stuff as, well, I guess that didn't happen. Well, something else has gotta happen. Let me try and do my best to make that better than what could have happened before. I mean, of course, we're all antsy. We want to get out there and live life, but sometimes you just gotta slow down and do things in a smarter way. And now, somehow, it's become a possibility for me to have every single thing I need for independence. Basically, when I get the final few, like that's $1,600 worth of gear, I don't even need all of it. I don't need new power pads. It would be nice. I don't need spike pedals. It would be nice. I'm gonna prioritize with getting the most important stuff first, right? Like the portable shower thing. But yeah, somehow, just from being postponed for half a year here, not only have I acquired stuff already for the setup, new backpack, electric unicycle, fast charger, new shoes, all that. Not only have I acquired new things, but I've also figured out that the things that I thought I needed before, that I actually need other better solutions that weigh less, have more functionality, or double functionality, or that dry pack, dry bag, I can use that as my own fucking laundromat. That is crazy smart. Like, that's such a lightweight solution to a problem that would keep coming up every so often. You keep having to wash your clothes, right? So yeah, now I'm not gonna have to spend money on laundromats. Not gonna have to spend money on I'm going to gyms, the gym memberships. Basically, the only expense I will have after this equipment is bought is internet, like data, and food. Amazing. I love it. And of course, tobacco, right? At least for now. I want to get off that stuff, but honestly, guys, I think just being in an apartment is what's stressing me out. I had a lot easier of a time not smoking when I was outside. It's just you're busy doing stuff that you enjoy and doing survival type stuff, bushcraft type stuff. I think this is enough of a rant for now. Let me just say, guys, I'm excited about having been postponed. I'm excited about being able to get this right, and I'm just so endlessly excited about the potential of acquiring my full wish list for this gear. Because I have not yet on all of YouTube or the internet seen. I've seen ultralight. I've seen people who are capable of, you know, surviving just barely, for or these bike packers, where it's like, yeah, they can survive, but a lot of their cooking, for example, is super basic, just like a jet boil and some dehydrated meals, which are expensive. It's like a lot of the reason that these people can pack so light is because they have a shit ton of money on their bank account, or some kind of digital income, like their YouTube is paying them out money to the point where they can just go buy local food, eat out, and stuff like that. So they don't actually need such an independent setup as what I'm devising. I want this setup to be able to fulfill all of my needs, all my practical needs, to the point where all I have to think about is money. Because it's such a luxurious position to be in. When you only have to think about money and refilling water, I mean, and you can forego that by getting a water filter, right? Well, that's all you have to do. Life as a nomad just becomes a lot more desirable, because there is nothing worse, honestly. The worst thing about my whole journey with Mike and Kiki and the loud friend was the fact that we kept having a shower. We kept stinking, and we would light a campfire, and immediately I would just feel uncomfortable because the smoke, it gets into my hair, so I always smell it. Like, yeah, short-haired people, they smell it on their clothes and their skin and stuff, but me, I got my right now, it's behind my headset, but me with this hair, it's all around my head. I can smell my conditioner right now. I just like having this on so you can see my face when I'm talking. Um, but yeah, that was the biggest hassle. That was what always paused our journey. Oh, we have to go shower. Um, and of course, I was fine with just, knocking on doors or paying the 20 krona daily fee to go to a gym to take a shower. But the others, they just kind of wanted to go back and have a proper shower and, just kind of sit in the couch for a few hours and then head out again. So it always kind of broke up our journey. And And the same would probably apply for doing laundry. I mean, if you're in a region where there's not a laundromat close by, what are you gonna do? Keep knocking on doors? Um, just wear your least smelly clothes, wash it by hand in a river. I mean, which is fine, maybe once or twice. But at some point, it's gonna get so grimy and greasy, you're gonna need some kind of laundry detergent to, get it properly clean. And yeah, I'm just so excited. I didn't honestly think it would be possible. Only recently, because of this thing with the dry pack for doing laundry, have I realized that it's actually possible for me to take care of both shower and laundry, which were the final two things outside of money that I don't have in my backpack taken care of. So I'm just excited, guys. I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Sure, my backpack is like 32 kilos or more, But hey, if I upgrade to that Durston X Dome, either the One Plus or the Two, I'm still kind of debating it a bit. Um, but because I want to stay away from the cold, that's my goal. I want to get out of Denmark at least by autumn this year. I don't want to stay here in the cold one more time. I want to completely nope out of the cold for the rest of my life. I don't miss it. I want to get out of it. So yeah, my goal is just to get the hell out of here before autumn. Hopefully before then, but I'm just gonna prioritize my setup instead of. I mean, I can always get out of the country, right? Um, but yeah, my deadline is gonna be autumn, and of course, I know I can't control deadlines. I don't have enough money to be able to control deadlines, and I'm not just gonna head out on the wheel with $100 in my wallet. The only reason I was able to go to Denmark with $100 in my wallet, heading over from Portugal by plane, was because I knew this was Denmark. This is where I'm from. This is where I grew up. I know the system. I know how to make money. I speak the language, etc., etc. Right? I would have not taken just a backpack and €100 to some other country I've never been in another continent. That would have been downright irresponsible. So yeah, after I acquire this gear, my next step is just getting out of here before autumn. But let's see. Maybe Dion shows up. Maybe he's going to travel with me. Maybe we figure out some kind of arrangement that would allow me to feel economically safe to the point of leaving Denmark. Maybe he leaves again. Who knows? But hey, I'm open to traveling with him again. Weather's going to be up to his standards soon anyway, around, I'd probably say mid-March to late March would be tolerable for him. But he's gotten a better jacket and stuff. Maybe he's more prepared this time. I'm definitely the guy to be traveling with in a camp, especially when I get these final few things, because literally anything I have it. I just remember back in the days, back when I was traveling with Mike and Kiki. Anytime they were like, "Oh, fuck, man, my fucking nail broke. I need to. Oh, here's a nail clipper. Oh, Luke, do you have some tweezers? Oh yeah, here you go. Oh, it's like I always had anything these people needed, and like, oh shit, we can't. Look, the fire's gonna go out. We don't have any more branches. And I'm like, oh, I got a saw. We can just saw some big branches and put some big logs on there. I always had some kind of solution for stuff, and it feels great. It feels like I have one of those what do you call them? Those those purses or those leather purses from old cartoons where they would pull out an anchor and pull out a piano and pull out a warship. That's what my backpack feels like. I love it. So yeah, I thank Mike for giving me that. I thank him so much for helping me. And honestly, I was kind of annoyed at both Mike and Dion for getting me stuck. Of course, I have responsibility myself. I'm an adult. I could have just had more money, right? But initially, even though I tried to, frustration is futile and all that, even though I tried keeping my emotions in check, internally I couldn't help but be a little pissed, right? Ah, they got a little in my way. Ah, they postponed, my plan a little bit. But now, honestly, in hindsight, I'm pretty happy with where I am. Not in an apartment, but where I am mentally when it comes to my plans, when it comes to my setup. It's great. I don't really have any plans for today. This may just be everything for today. Like, honestly, guys, while I'm living in this apartment, I could go through all the things of showing you, oh, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then but it's the same fucking stuff I'm doing when I'm living in an apartment. It's some friends come by the apartment. They're all privately minded. They don't want to be on camera. Or I go to hang out at a friend's place or my friend's mom's place, or I go shopping, or I go to the government, or I go to the doctor. It's just the same fucking shit. I'm still gonna roughly show you how I live. Some days it's just gonna be all that. It's just gonna be me. Oh, then I did this, then I did that. Maybe I didn't have any energy. Maybe I was kind of forcing myself to just record a little bit. Um, but other days, like today, I just feel like talking to you guys. So I guess today's just and a half an hour video of me just, what do you call it, like brain dumping on you guys. But hey, I hope you got something out of this. Another thing I've realized is from watching that Dispatches from Elsewhere, it reminded me of the OA in certain ways. And me and Leah and Stony were gonna watch the OA. They have only watched 1 or 2 episodes. I got them onto watching it like a year ago or so. But for a bunch of different reasons in all of our lives, we just didn't have the time to continue, and so we stopped after like 2 or 3 episodes. And I really want to show them the OA. It is my favorite piece of media of all time, the most transformative and life-changing thing I've ever seen. Funny thing is, first time I saw it, it had no real effect on me. I thought it was a cool show, and I kept being reminded of it and thinking back to it, like there was something there, something important there. But then the second time I watched it, it was like a religious experience. Like all of a sudden, I'd had some more life experience. Like everything started to click. Um, and basically, I think one of the most beautiful points of Dispatches from Elsewhere and the OA, and just the general life philosophy that I live by, is that you can do everything on your own as it pertains to survival and going through all the different stages of life and finally dying. You can do all that alone. It's not a problem. It's been done since added like all the way back since the dawn of time. You can do everything alone, but you can only truly you can only create truly meaningful changes in the world as a group. At the very least as a duo, but preferably as a group. In Dispatches from Elsewhere, it's 4 people. In the OA, it's 5. I think 5 is a much better number, personally. I'm not gonna get into it right now. The video is long enough as it is. But that's kind of another thing that I'm realizing about this channel. Just scrolling back through the videos, I haven't rewatched them. It's just all me, you know. Most of my friends, they don't want to be on camera. It's basically just me for the most part. It was so reinvigorating to have Red on here, and that redheaded friend I got. Really nice. Felt great not being alone. And who knows? Maybe he's gonna join too. I don't really anticipate that happening, but he's potentially gonna get a large chunk of money. And if he does, he said he wants to come. Let's see. But I really want to make this nomadic convoy I was talking about in my earlier videos, you know? Just like a convoy that is, well, I guess technically led by me. I'm not really interested in leadership for the sake of authority or power. I'm interested in leadership as a self-sacrificial thing to enable the connection of other people and to facilitate the formation of these groups that are able to impart meaningful change onto the world. That's what I really want to do, and that's something I can't wait to get around to. Right now I'm kind of stuck. But once I hatch from this cocoon, I can tell you guys, I will do my best to try and include more people and get more people to join me. And because just traveling around alone, it's fine. I can do it. It's somewhat enjoyable. But doing this shit with other people, the days, they just blow by so quickly because you're just talking and doing stuff, and it just feels amazing, and you're capable of making really good stuff. Like, of course, I'm rewatching my videos, but my favorite videos, like content-wise, I'm not even talking because of like sentimental reasons of thinking back to those times or thinking back on Mike being alive. Just objectively, the best videos I've made, well, I guess it's subjective, it's my own opinion, is the videos where it was me, the loud friend, Mike, and Kiki. That was the best period of this channel so far. But of course, we're only half a year into the journey, not halfway, because this journey for me, there's only one way, three ways that it could end. Either I get a wife and kids, or I get abducted by aliens, or I die in a traffic accident. Like, that's the only thing that could ever stop me from living this way. And honestly, having to stay in an apartment now, you know what, guys? I'll vow this much to you and to myself that this, mark my words, this will be the final time that I pay rent in my life. Yeah. I'm done. I don't mind living or having the ability to live indoors for a while, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months. Perfectly fine. Because that's not mine. It's not my responsibility. The rent and the bills is not my responsibility. Of course, I'm gonna want to help out. I don't like to just use people. I'm gonna want to help out, but right now I feel a sense of responsibility for making sure that the rent gets paid here because my friend's not making money, and when I wasn't making money, he let me stay here for free, so it's only fair. But yeah, I need to get out of here. Apartment life is not for me, but hey, at least it wasn't all wasted. At least it's not just like, oh, I'm stuck here. This is like prison. Because I'm progressing. I'm moving along. And I'm happy. Let's go. Guys, I'm just coming from the supermarket. Got some more tea. I got some Earl Grey in my pocket too, man. I ran out of tea completely. Got some cheap rye bread here in my arm as well. Let's go. Just trying to get the things I'm gonna need now before I run out of money. And just trying to spend a little bit, not a lot. Good evening, guys. I'm hanging out in voice chat with Dion right now. I started writing a script for a video about my worldview. It's gonna be a long one. It's probably gonna take some time. You're gonna hear me talk about it some more. But I took frikadella, Danish meatballs, my friend brought for me when he was here. Natja's boyfriend brought it. Put some remoulade on there, buttered some rye bread, and put some roasted onions on there. Delicious. I'm really enjoying this. Drinking some tea while I finish that. Well, I'm gonna go back to Dion now, guys.